A win is a win, I guess. I believe that was my first point that I made.
Yeah.
It started at number 3, and I was like, you know what, I should probably move that one up,
Mhm.
because boy, it was not a pretty one. You're not gonna file this one under Patrick Mahomes master classes. You're it
Mhm.
just it seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong in this game, and the Chiefs still pulled out a victory, which is promising. So Jordan, what were kind of your impressions of this game?
I mean, like you said, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Guys like Frank Clark weren't getting any pressure. I'm sure we'll touch
Hmm.
on him a little bit. This secondary, Bashad Breeland was getting beat and looked like he maybe got banged up a little bit on one play and looked a little out of it. I mean, Travis Kelsey had a couple big drops. Nicole Hardman was nowhere to be found. The running game just wasn't super effective unless it was Tyreek Hill on a random end around type play out of the backfield for 30 yards.
Hmm.
It wasn't a Chiefs game that you're used to seeing. Like Drew Lock looked good at times, which we're definitely not used to seeing against the Chiefs. So
Right.
overall, bits and pieces of it weren't very fun, but the Chiefs kind of goofed around and still ended up winning the game. So that's promising, I guess.
I think when I go into divisional games from now on, I'm just gonna have to assume they're gonna be close. You can't really
Mhm.
assume a blowout in a divisional game. Apparently, these teams are gonna be built to beat the Chiefs. They're gonna be built to be bad matchups against the Chiefs. But I think that on the surface, this is what Patrick Mahomes said after the game. I thought was interesting. While the expectation was, yeah, the Chiefs are gonna blow this team out. This team's bad. Patrick Mahomes said, "Yeah, okay, maybe we didn't blow them out, but it's good to find different ways to win." I mean,
Mhm.
he said the Chiefs have found different ways to win pretty much every game this season. They've had the blowout win against the Jets, and they even had a blowout win against the Raiders. They've had used their defense, they've used their special teams, they've used different ways. They've even used the leg of Harrison Butker, who was very important in today's role. I believe he had five
Mhm.
field goals. A very good game from him, and it was very reminiscent of the Chargers game earlier this year. I thought
Yep.
it was funny. I think I saw someone on Twitter. I can't remember who said it. I think it was Pete Sweeney tweeted Le'Veon Bell starting in a field goal game. And I thought that was kind of funny because Le'Veon Bell did get the start for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was active in the game, and that was kind of a big story coming in. Would he be active? Would he not be active? Another big inactive active person was Steve Wisniewski. He was active
Mhm.
today. He got the practice squad call up for today's game. Was active. I don't believe he saw a snap. I don't believe Clyde Edwards-Helaire saw a snap either.
No. There was an instance in the game where the camera panned to Clyde Edwards-Helaire and he had his helmet on, but he had the jacket. I mean, that was
Yeah.
an Andy Reid special, I think, where he just kind of wanted to throw a wrinkle in last minute, and like Clyde was probably like an emergency running back or whatever. And then with Snooski, I figured he wouldn't get much action, if at
Right.
all,
Yeah.
so early, even though he does know the playbook a lot better than some other guys that would come off the street. But I mean, Le'Veon Bell, he had a couple nice runs. He has that patient running style that we're used to seeing. He had some not so good runs. He caught a couple balls out of the backfield. He made plays happen. So I think everyone knows how we feel about Le'Veon Bell. It's
Right.
nice to have him on the team. Um, our expectations weren't very big to begin with. So I think that for his role, he's done fine. And then what I found interesting was Darrell Williams saw some time on that
Oh
four-minute
yeah.
offense. He was the guy, and he looked pretty good down the stretch.
I totally agree with you, and I think that is interesting. That he has gotten a lot of playing time in the 2 minute, 4 minute, 6 minute offenses. When you come
Mhm,
down the stretch, even when Clyde Edwards is healthy, he does get a lot of time in those situations. So they must really like his pass blocking abilities, what I assume. Even though we've heard Le'Veon Bell's a really good pass blocker, and we've seen some good instances from Le'Veon Bell where he does pass protect
mhm,
well. But Daryl does he played well. He played a good game today, and he does pass protect well.